Hi, I'm Claire from Chancellor Coaching. Today let's explore the 16th card in the Major Arcana, known as the Tower. Now, I'm kind of giggling because the Tower card always takes me back to when I very first learnt the Tarot. Sitting there with a little old lady, tea and china, and she says, Claire, all you really need to know with this card is that it represents an impending shitstorm. And I'm like, yep. You feel that bolt of lightning and spirit world just like, yeah, no. And I must admit, if I've pulled the tarot card for a client, I'm really quick to pull another card just to get a little bit more information. So here we go. Let's explore the tarot. Sorry, let's explore what the tower is telling us within the tarot. It's a good tongue twister. Okay, so knowing that the major arcana cards represent that spirit is heavily involved in the chapters of your life right now, it means that spirit is literally giving you a wake-up call, pulling the rug out from underneath you and making you feel like everything underneath you is crumbling. Many times this can represent the dark night of the soul, and anybody who's been through the dark night of the soul, Saturn return, it can represent a time where your spiritual awakening starts to emerge and you start to question all of your material attachments. It can feel like a really devastating time to experience, but you've got to hold on to the light at the end of the tunnel. So overall, with the Tower card, it does represent that everything that you've built upon your foundation looks beautiful, looks like you've done everything right. However, the foundation isn't strong enough to hold that up anymore, and it is going to crumble out from underneath you. So this can feel like a marriage breakdown, health declining, really, really shocking bad news, maybe losing your job, losing a lot of money. Again, there's a lot of loss here when it comes to the Tower. And again, in that moment, it feels like your world is crumbling. But when you get to the other end and reflect back, there tends to be a level of relief of like, oh, thank goodness. I've run that race, I'm at the other end, and like, okay, I can see why that was empowering and beneficial. But boy, oh boy, in the time, So again, it's like that truth shocking the system. This card comes up in a relationship reading. I mean, do I need to say any more? The foundation of that relationship is crumbling and it is not there. It's a wake-up call, and you've probably been ignoring the whispers, trying to make it work, trying to do all of the dance class and trying to set date nights and everything else, and yet the spark is gone. Neither one of you are willing to admit that. Let's try a little bit harder, a little bit more. And it's just that try a little bit harder that's suppressing the energy and making it hard to actually come back to that high standard, high vibe energy. In a relationship reading, it can represent that we're still, whether it's single or a partner, it still represents that you're holding on to that shield, that anger, the powerlessness of the past, and you're not letting it go. The resentment has hooked you into the past, and it's basically saying like, I will never ever trust you. I will never ever put myself out there, allow myself to get hurt again. And of course, in that kind of language, it means that we're going to continue to manifest more problems, the not trust, the everything else that goes with it, until we again work with a coach or a healer to undo that, to be able to say, actually, I deserve this, and how can this get better, and feel that expansive energy. The Tower card is saying we're not quite there yet. Pretty much wait till we get to the moon or to the sun to really experience that transformation, which comes in a few more cards. So if this card is showing up in reverse, people around you are dramatic, stressed, arguments, misunderstandings. Woo, get out of their way. If this card is coming up in reverse, I can hear the team say they're like, yeah, even your boss, like it's just everyone around you's mirroring back to you that chaos that you're feeling within, which can then create health concerns. So if this card is coming up in reverse and we're doing a health reading, we know we're dealing with somebody who's probably got probably got chronic sort of a build up of a health concern. However, it's this like sudden onset, the complications, the emotional reactions from fear that is festering that health to move throughout the body. I'm going to go into more of the symbols, but seeing the little characters literally upside down, we know that this person is going to be experiencing some head issues because their world's upside down. The head represents the head, the mind, the brain represent our control panel, how we operate in this reality. And basically, if we're trying to control too much, if we're keeping ourselves in that conflict of too much pressure, what about me? We're going to manifest things like headaches, migraines, that overwhelm. This card can also represent like manifesting a head injury, God forbid, stroke, blood pressure problems, and the migraines. The team are just saying the migraines can represent a lack of boundaries and going with what everybody else is saying, taking on the family burdens and no space for you. So yeah, let's bring on those boundaries. But boundaries represent what's okay in your energy and what's not okay in your energy. So a lot of the time people think boundaries represent, you know, this wall of what's not okay, but we do need to communicate what we do want in our relationships. Okay, so any other health concerns here, guys? Talking about menopause, focusing on the fear of getting older, graying, maybe feeling undesirable or no one being there to nurture. So the symptoms of menopause escalate, suppressing your ability to stand strong. Okay. As much as I can lift the energy with the Tower card, let's lift the energy and let's talk about the symbols here. A lot going on, right? We've got a lot of the black, which is that formality, dignity, zero tolerance. Again, this person's too tired to have any tolerance for any nonsense. The Tower represents their ego, and as we can see there, that the foundation isn't there to hold the ego up anymore. It is that spiritual awakening and time to really connect back into your intuition. The ego forms when we are little, when we are told how to be in this world, all of the shoulds, and how to survive in the world. And so the ego wants to keep us small in a box of familiar, where the intuition knows that we are here for something more magnificent. The intuition is going to actually ask us to face our fears and move through those barriers, where the ego's like, no, gotta keep myself spiraling. No. Okay, so we've got the the little characters there falling out of the tower. Somebody there is wearing red and they can be very impulsive. We're seeing that that's probably on the outside of them. People are seeing that spark and that anger. Whereas the other characters wearing the blue, they've contemplated, they're quite analytical, they have an ability to communicate what's important to them, but seeing they're wearing those little red shoes, like they walked into those conversations with a bit of anger and dominance and didn't really get heard. The lightning is a spirit world giving us a wake-up call. A sudden strike will change everything forever. Is there anything else there, team, that we need to bring forward? Just checking the card. The grey smoke, the grey clouds, things are unclear. It's going to keep us in that doubt and that uncertainty. Oh, so... if this card is coming up for you, basically the team, the guides are letting you know that it's time for a wake-up call. They have heard your prayers for relief and some harmony and some peace, but there's some inner work that needs to be done to resolve that before that peace will be felt. I'm Claire from Claire Chancellor Coaching. I hope that helps. Enjoy that Tower chapter. Reach out to your coach and I will talk to you later.